True peace, Kens. Today I have one of those celeb source ones, man, and finally. Yeah, man. Hospital worker accused of double murder. Sexually abused bodies in mortuaries, man. This is distressing content, man. So, Peter Slang, a hospital electrician on trial for the murder of two young women in 1987, allegedly went on to abuse female corpses in two hospital mortuaries. A court has been told David Fuller, 67, has previously admitted killing Wendy Nail, 25, and Caroline Pierce, 20, in Tunbridge Wells, but denied murder due to diminished responsibility. Man, Peter Slang. A jury at Maidstone Crown Court heard on Monday that Fuller had deprived sexual predilections and had attacked corpses for an extended period of time at the hospitals where he worked. Man, Peter Slang, he was an electrician at the Kent and Sussex Hospital from 1989 before moving to Tunbridge Wells Hospital in 2010, the court heard. Fuller was finally arrested for murders in December 2020 when detectives allegedly found evidence of the mortuary attacks. Man, Peter Slang. There they found images of dead women at the two hospital mortuaries being abused by Fuller. Duncan Atkins, QC prosecuting, said. Officers then found 4 hard drives with 5 terabytes of data storage in total attached to the back of a court board. When these hard drives were examined, they were found to contain a library of unimaginable sexual depravity, Mr. Atkins QC said. Man, Peter Slang. In a police interview, Fuller admitted to using Facebook to search for photos of the people he abused in the mortuary. In relation to identifying and naming the files containing images of his offending against dead people, he said that he had gone back to name them at a later stage using the ledgers from the mortuary and identification tags on the body, Mr. Atkins QC said. He added he admitted to searching for them on the internet, including on Facebook. He claimed that this would be after the offending rather than research before offending. Mr. Atkins QC said these images provided evidence that Fuller committed the acts out of sexual gratification and not mental illness. It shows the defendant to derive sexual gratification from sexual activity with those who have died, he said. He added, it therefore provides a reason for killings. However, deviant and repellent, that does not depend on an explanation of mental illness that deprived the defendant of his self-control. Man, Peter Slang, he said Wendy was last seen alive when she was dropped off at her flat by her boyfriend on Gifford Road on June 22nd. Her body was found in her flat the next day, lying on the bed naked but covered with a duvet, the court heard. Mr. Atkins said she had sustained blunt force trauma to the head. She had been asphyxiated by application of pressure to the neck. Man, she was strangled. Wendy had been sexually assaulted at the time of or after death, the court heard. Man, Peter Slang, man, that's crazy. A distinctive footprint left in blood was found on a blouse recovered from Wendy's flat. Photographs showed Fuller wearing the same type of shoes, Mr. Atkins said. He said this mark was identified as coming from a Clark's Sports Trek training shoe. Following the defendant's arrest, many photographs were found that showed him wearing a pair of trainers, and a detailed examination has shown them to be a pair of Clark's Sports Track trainers. Caroline was last seen on 24th November, 1987, after being dropped off close to her ground floor flat, also in Tunbridge Wells. Neighbors later reported hearing 2 high-pitched screams that night, the court heard. Her almost naked body was found in a water-filled dike at St. Mary in the Marsh, Romney Marsh, Kent, 21 days later on December the 15th. Man, Peter Slang. It's crazy. Caroline has also sustained blunt force trauma to head, had suffered asphyxiation by pressure to the neck, and had been sexually assaulted. DNA evidence from both women's bodies linked Fuller to their killing. Man, court heard. The prosecutor said there were reported incidents of a prowler operating around the homes of both victims. He said a male of a similar profile to Fuller had been seen looking through an address near to Wendy Nail on the same night. Carolyn had reported a prowler in late October in 1987, a month before her disappearance. The court heard Mr. Atkins said the evidence found during a search of Fuller homes showed that he had taken images of women's corpses in the mortuary of Kent and Success Hospital and Tunbridge Wells Hospital. It showed that Fuller had a particular interest in the sexual assault of dead women. Mr. Atkins, QC, said the prosecution case is that Fuller killed and sexually assaulted the women to satisfy his desire, man. Man, like to give some love out to the family of those two women. Man, from Peter Slane. Hate to hear that news.